guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Fayy Lenee back with another video, and for today's video I have got a foundation review for you guys. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I have been seeing this everywhere. I've been seeing lots of people talking about it. For the most part, I've heard pretty good reviews, so I definitely had to get my hands on it. So far, everything that I've picked up from Makeup Revolution, which is a super affordable brand. If you've never heard of them, you can find them at Ulta. They're very, very affordable. And so far, everything that I've tried from them, I've absolutely loved. So when I saw that they came out with a full coverage foundation, I was like, yes, girl, give it to me. I will take it. Thank you very much. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a demo of me applying the foundation. And then, of course, at the end, I will let you guys know my thoughts and my opinions about the foundation and whether or not I think it is worth your coins. So if you are new to my channel, as I mentioned in the intro, my name is Fayy Lenee. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video and hanging out with me for today's review. I really hope that you enjoy it. If you do, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And also be sure to join my fam by clicking on the subscribe button down below, as well as turning on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any future uploads from me. And if you are not new to my channel, then you guys already know what it is, so thank you so much for coming back for another video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. So before I jump into the foundation, I just quickly wanted to share with you guys the products that I'm using on my skin underneath the foundation. So first, I did go ahead and go in with this Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray by Too Faced. And then after that, to smooth out my pores, I use this Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. And then on top of that, I went in with the Sasha Mattifier Face Primer. So that's what I've done so far as the skin. And then next, I'm going to go in with this Maybelline Master Camo Correcting Pen. This one is in the shade Apricot. And I'm just going to apply that on, well, maybe I shouldn't do that because you guys probably want to see the coverage of the actual foundation. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip on the color correcting pen so that you guys can actually see the coverage of the foundation. That would make more sense. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to go in with the Cover FX Mattifying Powder. This one is in the shade Medium. You guys know I absolutely love this. And I'm just going to set my primers with this because I am going somewhere after this video. So this is what I would normally do as part of my foundation routine, and I do need my foundation to last because like I said, I am going somewhere after I film this video. So I'm just going to press this on the skin on the areas that I tend to get the most oily, and then just blend it out towards the perimeter or the outer portions of my face. So I pretty much just focus it on this inner portion and my T-zone, and then with whatever I have left, I'm just going to blend it out to the perimeter or outer portions. I don't know why I keep saying perimeter, but towards the outer portions of my face. Now, if you don't have oily skin, you can skip the powder part, but I just always like to do that regardless of what foundation I'm wearing, just because I know it's going to help my foundation and just my makeup in general to last longer throughout the day. So let's go ahead and get into the foundation. I actually ordered 2 shades. I got the shade F12.2 and no, F12.5 and F13. And when I got them in the mail, I realized that F13 is definitely going to be too dark for me. And I'll just show you guys a quick little swatch of the color. Looks like that. It's not super dark, but it's definitely too dark for me. Probably about like 2 to 3 shades too dark for me. But the shade F12.5 matches me perfectly. So that's the shade that I'm going to use on my face today. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's basically a jumbo size version of what their concealer looks like. And then it has this little applicator on the inside, which some people are not really a fan of. I don't really mind it. I find that it just helps the application of my foundation to go on a little bit smoother, because I actually prefer to apply my foundation to my skin with like a concealer brush first and then blend it out with a foundation brush. So this just kind of saves me an extra brush getting dirty because it already has that type of applicator. So I'm just going to apply this to the skin. And I know, like, I guess the issue with this that some people have is that you're putting it on your face and then dipping it back into the container, which I could see the issue with that, but it doesn't bother me. So if that's something that bothers you, you could definitely like take the product off of the applicator and then apply it, you know, off of something else, off of your hand or off of some other kind of surface. But for me personally, it doesn't really bother me, so I don't make a big deal about it. So I'm just gonna go in with this e.l.f. foundation brush and I'm just going to blend it out. So this is what we're looking like with one layer so far. It's definitely not a perfect spot on match, but once I apply my concealer and everything, it will be fine. It'll work fine. So I'm actually gonna go in with another layer just to kind of show you guys what it looks like, build it up. One thing I will say about this foundation is that it is definitely matte. The coverage is pretty good in my opinion. It says on here that it's a full coverage foundation and I do agree with that. And it's also pretty matte. Like when you're blending it out, it dries down pretty quickly. Now part of that may be because I do set my primer with a powder before I go in with foundation, so I'm not sure if that would still be the case if you just applied your primer and then just applied the foundation right on top. But from what I could tell, the foundation is kind of like a liquid to powder finish and it dries down pretty matte because I don't really have any shiny areas on my face right now, which I am all about because I'm oily. So I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more just in my cheek area because that is my problem area where I tend to have, you know, as you guys saw, dark spots and all of that I do want to cover. And this is not my first time wearing this foundation. I am still trying it out, so it's kind of like a combination of like a first impression and a review. But from the like 2 to 3 times that I've worn this foundation so far, I will say that it builds very nicely on the face. Like if you're trying to build it up, add a little bit more coverage, it builds up really nicely. And it doesn't get cakey, which is always a plus. Okay, so I came in just a little bit closer so you guys can see, but this is what the foundation is looking like on my skin so far with that little bit of extra coverage on the cheek area. And honestly, it looks so good. It looks so good. I am literally obsessed with just the way that this looks on the skin. Even though it is like a powder finish, it still looks natural. It doesn't look cakey at all whatsoever. It looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face makeup and then I'll be back to show you guys the final face and also give you my final thoughts on this foundation. All right guys, so I am back and this is the final look. All of my makeup done, how everything looks all together. And honestly, I have to say my face looks absolutely flawless right now. Like my makeup is snatched. I'll just give myself a little pat on the back because it is looking really good. Just smooth, flawless, snatched, okay? So before I go any more into my thoughts and opinions about the application and all of that stuff, I do want to quickly give you guys a couple of specifics about the foundation. So of course you guys know this is the Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation, which is an extension of their Conceal and Define Concealer, which they originally launched prior to launching this foundation. It does come in 24 shades, which is pretty decent. And it says on the Ulta website that it offers a lightweight yet buildable coverage in 24 skin true shades. It says on here that it's oil free yet creamy and comfortable, dries down to a long lasting demi matte finish, won't settle in fine lines or cling to dry patches. It's in a glass bottle with a jumbo doe foot applicator for greater control and less waste. It offers highly pigmented coverage that can be layered or diffused to suit your look. And it also says that it's supposed to give you a real skin finish that diffuses blemishes. I cannot read or talk apparently today. But that diffuses blemishes and uneven skin tone. So, my thoughts on those claims, honestly, I think every single thing that they said in this little description is right on, like they are spot on. It's not very often that I try out a product and every single one of the claims that they mention in their description or in their little snippet of the product as far as what it's supposed to do, what they created it to do, and all of that, that I actually agree with every single thing. And with this foundation, I have to say I agree with every single thing. And then on top of that, for those of you guys that might be interested in this, it does say that the product is vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, and oil-free. I am specifically and most importantly, well, not most importantly necessarily, but very much happy about the oil-free portion because I have very oily skin. So I am all about oil-free products because I don't need anything that's going to give me any additional oil than what my skin already produces. So that is definitely a plus. Also, this foundation does retail for $12 and you're getting 0.8 fluid ounces, which is a little bit less than a typical foundation. Normally you get 1 full fluid ounce. So you are paying $12 for 0.8 fluid ounces. But honestly, you guys, it is worth it. Now, I am still, of course, trying out this foundation with my different primers and different products and stuff like that. But so far, I have worn this foundation probably about 3 or 4 times since I've gotten it. I've worn it to work, I've worn it on long days, I've worn it on short days, hot days, cooler days. And I have to say, this is by far one of easily my top 2 favorite affordable foundations. It is that good. And I can say that with pretty strong confidence, even though I've only worn it about 3 or 4 times. As you guys saw in the demo as I was applying the product, and as you guys can see right now, my skin looks so smooth and flawless. Honestly, I don't know that I can, I know there's other foundations that I have in my collection that make my skin look flawless, but this foundation, it's been a long time since I've seen my skin look this good. Like literally my pores are smooth. I don't see any texture on my skin. Like everything just looks smooth and flawless. And even without applying my color correcting products, because normally I do apply a color corrector on my dark spots. So I actually have not used this foundation without color correcting previously or prior to applying it to my face, because that's just my normal foundation routine. But I'm glad I did catch myself because I wanted to show you guys the actual coverage of the foundation, since it does claim to be full coverage. And honestly, I don't even need to color correct with this foundation because you cannot see any of my dark spots underneath. As you guys saw in the demo, I did apply an extra layer on top just in this area because that is the problem area on my face. And it covered beautifully, it layered beautifully, it's not cakey, it's not heavy, it's not sticky. Like it literally just feels like my skin, but it looks flawless and it looks snatched. So I could honestly go on and on and on about how much I love this foundation. I think that's obvious. I give this foundation 2 thumbs up and definitely recommend that you pick it up. It is a steal for $12 to be getting this kind of coverage, this kind of quality, this kind of finish. And I definitely agree with all of the claims that this foundation has said that it's supposed to do. I think it definitely does all of those things. And on the days when I have worn this foundation to work, I have noticed that it does hold up very well throughout the day. Like typically I do probably like an 8 to 10 hour, like an 8-hour work day, but by the time I drive to work, drive home in Atlanta traffic, all of that, it's probably about 10 hours, 9 to 10 hours. And this foundation honestly has held, like, it's up there for me in top foundations, I have to say. Like for long wear, for longevity, for the way it wears on the skin, even as my skin starts to get oily throughout the day, when I go in and I blot, it just goes back to looking flawless as if I just applied it. It doesn't separate, it doesn't move on the skin. Like this is just so good, you guys. I'm so happy that they came out with this foundation. I'm so happy that I picked it up and tried it out for myself because I'm in love with it and I highly recommend it. If you are someone that has oily skin, if you are someone that has combination skin or even normal skin, I think you would really love this foundation if you are looking for something that is full coverage and that is going to be long wearing on the skin. And if you have dry skin, I think you could still get away with wearing this, but you probably just would really want to make sure that you moisturize really well, and you probably wouldn't have to set it with a powder because it is, like it says, a demi matte finish and very, very much matte on me because I do set my primers with a powder just to kind of keep those oils at bay. But yeah, I think I have rambled on enough about how much I'm absolutely obsessed with this foundation. Like I said, I give it 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend. I will have it linked for you guys down below where you can purchase it. Like I said, you can pick it up at Ulta. Some of the Ultas have them in stores, but of course you can also get them online. And if you are close to my skin tone or my complexion, like I said in the demo, my shade is the shade 12.5. But if you're a little bit darker than me but still have warm undertones, then I would recommend shade F13 because I did pick up this one thinking that I would need to mix them, but this one is just a tad too dark for me. Undertone is perfect, but just a tad too dark. But 12.5 is perfect. So that is all that I have to share for you guys for this review. I'm just like pumped to be trying a product that I absolutely love and know that I'll be incorporating into my makeup routine moving forward. If you guys have tried this foundation, let me know your thoughts down below. Or if this review helped you out, if you were thinking about trying it and now you're like 100% gonna pick it up and try it out, let me know that down below in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And yeah, that is all that I have for you guys today. So thanks so much again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon in my next one.